So, Arana, how did you get involved with the family group conference?
Well, I had regular meetings with my care coordinator, and there was a lot of problems going with the family, and then she mentioned about family group conferencing and that she'd refer me to them, and then I had a phone call from Yoka, really, and it just went from there.
And did it help? I mean,
Yeah, helped massively. Like, me and the family, we wouldn't get on, would we? And we were head to head all the time. Fights, like physical fights would happen, would break out, arguments 24/7. And having Yoka come into the family...
I think at the time you were really very poorly.
I was ill, wasn't I?
Very, very poorly. And being in that situation, the world was against you. But also there's still Arana there, even though she has the mental condition, crisis time. The real Arana wanted to have that connection still with the family, because we were the ones that were supporting her all the time and helping you with your daughter. But she still felt everyone was against her. So having someone like Yoka come in, who kind of dispersed everything, and she was also for Arana and for us, because as the patient you were getting assistance.
Yeah.
But as a family you don't always get it, and it was a little bit difficult for us, but because of other issues and things like that. But
it was also opening up to a stranger, wasn't it, of what the actual issues are.
Yeah.
And then once that was open and out there, we managed to get over it, sort of, not get over it, but work around it on how we work as a family instead of being against each other all the time.
I mean, we are very lucky, because obviously Yoka was really good, but it was how it affected your sister and brothers, wasn't it? They got a chance to actually voice their opinion and feel that they were getting support as well. And surprisingly, it was the way they wanted to support Arana that she couldn't see it. And obviously my husband and I are very different, and she's a daddy's girl. so I was always sort of like the horrible matriarch. And, and the hate was towards me, a lot of it, wasn't it? And
it
I
was
used to
also
get frustrated.
because you're an ex-psychiatric nurse as well, aren't you? So that was really hard. Obviously when I was ill, Mum had to switch off. No, this isn't my job, she's my daughter. And I used to fight a lot and with her over it, didn't I? Because I feel like she, I was a patient of hers instead of her daughter. And so that was a lot of the hard work. And
I think a lot of the professionals, the external professionals, because of my other hat, if you like, Arana would use my qualifications against them in the hospital situation. So then they would say, well, you know, your mum can help you. Well, no, your mum can't help you because I am her mum.
Yeah.
And, you know, having the meeting, we've had a couple, haven't we? But I think the initial family conference,
the big
because
one,
it comes out into the open. You're not alone.
No.
It comes out in the open, and it's so much easier to talk about problems.
Oh, and having a mediator,
and everyone
having someone else to mediate, because
and sharing it, also sharing it, properly sharing it. And
going through the whole
not being
yourself.
judged, just listening.
And it was everyone used to walk on eggshells around you, and that used to do my head in, didn't it? Don't walk on eggshells around me. And that was the biggest thing with the family. They didn't know how to approach me. Because when I was ill, I would kick off and I would just lose my temper.
But it wasn't. It was the beast.
Yeah, but it is me still, isn't it? But
but the illness, I think. But then there was other things that came out surprisingly, is how the other children felt about myself and my husband, and because they had counselling as well at the time, and just to sort of help them through mind, wasn't it? Because they were the after effects of having their sister so ill was sort of like the domino effect. So they then were able to bring up how they felt, whereas before it had always been sort of Arana and myself.
How does Arana feel?
Or you know, your sister did a lot with you, didn't she? She's been a brilliant support, but then the boys always got left out. It was a hard one. There was lots of tears. Yeah,
but I think it helped though, because I handed my daughter over to my mum when I first became ill, and so I wasn't neglecting her. So my daughter had the best care, and I used to blame you a lot for that, didn't I? And that was a lot of the arguments, was blaming my mum. You still got her. I'm fine when I wasn't still fine.
No.
And having Yoka come in and talk to us, going, no, you done the right thing, but she still has to stay with mum because you're not 100%. Do you know what I mean? And having Yoka in our family has been the best thing, because it's been about a year now, hasn't it? And I've got my daughter back. I've just had another one 8 weeks ago. Do you know what I mean?
Wow.
Like, there's been a massive change.
And
it's been
because you
brilliant.
shared a problem.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say that it's a problem. You shared feelings that you had.
But it is a problem as well, though.
You know, you've come out into the open, exactly how you feel.
Yeah.
And sometimes I think it's really hard to tell family
How you
really feel. It's so much easier to tell an outsider.
Yeah.
And that's why I think the family group conference is so good.
Yeah.
It is so important, because even
So
as sort of like
important.
the parent
Yeah.
to your child,
Yeah.
you know, I'd still say to her, oh, you're really doing well, yeah, and where you think, actually, no, you're not. Pull your socks up and get on with it.
And
But without
that's
having
what I
a
think.
forum,
Worry, you're frightened of being judged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially by your family as well, because when you do feel
They're the
that
worst
low
ones, yeah.
and you don't feel like you have got anyone to talk to, and obviously I was in hospital a lot of the time, so in and out of psychiatric units, you're speaking to different people, but most of them are patients. You're not speaking to staff a lot of the time. So having someone, when I was at home, come out and speak to us, and being able to explain it to you guys how I really felt, and so there was no judgment going on.
And that is
made
so
it a lot
important,
easier.
not to be judged.
It is.
So important.
It really is, and having that forum where everyone can speak. We had it in a sort of whatever got said in that room stayed in that room, and we worked out different ways to move forward, didn't we? And our relationship's amazing now.
And it's worked.
Absolutely
And I think
amazing.
when you go to the family group conference, it's a plan that's with all the. It's not just you.
No,
it's
everyone.
Everybody's involved.
Yeah.
And that, I think,
There's no
is what
spotlight on
binds
the
it.
individual.
No, it's not. Be careful what you're saying.
No.
It's everybody's involved,
Yeah.
and everybody's
I
helping.
know we had tears.
Of course,
I had tears.
Screaming
we
matches.
shouted, but it was really good. It needed to be done. It was almost afterwards you feel relieved.
It's relief,
It's like
isn't
a
it?
weight
Yeah.
The weight's been taken off your shoulders, and
Because you're not alone,
yeah,
and that's the main thing.
and I think that was the problem that we felt even as a family with Arana.
You knew,
That you're on your own,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden this service clicks in, and you think, oh wow, you know. Obviously, I knew that we were. There's hundreds of families
like me,
us,
family
you know,
group conference
but it was
really works.
really
You really,
worked. 100%,
100%. It's a
absolutely.
service that's definitely needed.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Definitely.